Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Vihare Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Vihare Gopijana Vallabha Girivara Dare Gopijana Vallabha Girivara Dare Yasoda Nandana Krasachana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Om Vishnu Pad, Paramaham Bhakti Vedanta Maharaj Prabhupada ki, ISKCON Samstavakacharya Prabhupada ki, Ananda Guri Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Namashar Thakur ki jai, Prem Saga Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivasa Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki jai, Vrindavan ki jai, Mathura Dham ki jai, Navamitam ki jai, Rangamai ki jai, He Amunamai ki jai, Tulasi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Samaveda Bhaktande ki jai, Gaura Pramanande. All glories to the seven devotees, all glories to the seven devotees, all glory to the seven devotees, all glories to Sri Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Sri Sri Ganesha ki. So we continue reading from Hari Sauri's Transcendental Diary, and Prabhupada is at the present, he is an Aligarh. Prabhupada asked the boy if he knew what was God. Oh, this was we read yesterday. Sarendra's daughter asked Prabhupada whether he thought Indian philosophy and religion should be taught in schools. And the school is run by missionaries. They used to have a scripture class, she said. So why not do the same now, but teach our own religion instead of someone else's? Prabhupada immediately corrected her misconception. He told her that to know that we have changed bodies from a child to a youth to an old man, as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, is not the teaching of a particular religion. It is a fact. He condemned the understanding that the Gita is simply some particular religious viewpoint and said it applied to everyone, Hindus, Muslims, Christians, at all. It is science, he stated. Religion is a kind of faith that they describe, but religion is also not blind faith. Religion means the order of God. That is religion. Dharman tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam, Srimad Bhagavatam 6:3-19. Just like law means the order of the state, similar religion means the order of God. If you have no conception of God, if you do not know what God is, what is order, then where is religion? It's all bogus. Her brother told Prabhupada that the point she was trying to make was that most parents are not aware of what to teach to their children. Prabhupada agreed with that and offered a remedy. Yes, therefore I'm starting that Gurukula in Vrindavan. So you come, take the idea and make your children. Whatever mistake is done. Now, why the mistake should continue? Rectify it. The younger Shaigal told him that the problem was that the secular policy, the policy of the government prevented any kind of religious instruction in schools. Prabhupada responded with a squared-on refutation. Then think out secularism. Science, it is science. When a child becomes a boy, then, there is no question of secularism. It is science. It is a fact. Can you by secularism stop a child growing to become a boy? When I explained in South Africa these things, one Arya Samaj friend, he criticized me that why you are bringing Hindu ideas. So I said, it is Hindu ideas? A child grows to become a boy. It is Hindu idea? Why you are so fool? You are calling Hindu idea. Because it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, they take it Hindu idea. This is nonsense. The younger Saigal responded that they were in control of several schools and wanted ideas how to introduce the teachings of Bhagavad Gita without it being seen as Hindu. Prabhupada invited them to simply take advantage of his own labors. That is my program. I'm writing all books just only on this idea. Therefore they are coming. Otherwise, what is the use? They were Christians and Jews. What is the use of becoming Hindus? So anyone wants to understand what is Krishna consciousness movement, they can understand easily if he joins the Hare Krishna chant. That is all right. If he wants to understand scientifically, there are 84 books. Come on, which way you want? Accepting the point, Mr. Saigal said that accepting the point, Mr. Saigal said that still they were looking for a very simple elementary curriculum. Anyway, so stop here. Any questions? Any commenters? Huh? Any question?
Interesting how Prabhupada just called someone a rascal because he said that what is the use of bringing in some Hindu religion to us?
Yeah.
He said, you're a rascal, you're nonsense.
Yeah, this was Prabhupada's view, no? It was completely universal, beyond all these designations, material designations. I'm a Hindu, I'm a Christian, I'm who knows what. But actually, we are not Hindus ni Christians, we are transcendental souls. We're not the body. And there's so many designations. Sarvabhupadi Vinimuktam Tattvani Shikena Sevan Bhakti Lucate. When one engages devotional service, one engages one's senses in the service of the Lord, one becomes free from all upadis, all designations. Yes, and that's a fact. Like we here have so many nationalities nowadays in this temple. Where are you from? Ukraine. Ukraine. We have here in Hindu. We have a Russian body. What was your country again?
Moldova.
Another one. But somehow or other we are united here in this temple. Yeah? We are united. We don't consider so much our temporary bodily designations. Anyway, so that was Prabhupada's mission. That was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Like I mentioned yesterday, it's not possible to understand Krishna without the guidance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After Krishna left, Prabhupada mentioned that after Krishna had left, they started speculating. Why? He says, surrender to his lotus feet, give up everything. Who's he? No? And in the long run, so many speculate, and the whole potency of this Vedic knowledge was lost. And they ended up that we are Hindus. Okay, any more? So let's continue with the Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we continue with the seventh canto, seventh chapter, and the 40th verse. Is that? Yeah. Evam hi loka kratu vikrita ami. Kshayih navasati shaya na nirmalaha. Tasmad dadishta shutadushanam param. Bhaktiyodayesham bhajatatum labhate. Bhaktiyodayesham bhajatatma labhaye. Evam hi loka kratu vikrita ami. Kshayishnava sati shayana nirmalaha. Tasmadarishra shrutadashunam param. Tasmadarishra shrutadushanam param. Bhaktiyodayesham bhajatatam labhaye. Evam hi loka kratu vikrita ami. Shayishanava sati shayana nirmalaha. Tasmad adishta shutadushanam param. Bhaktyodaye shambhajatatam labhyaye. Niloka krita ami. Ya sati shayana nirmalaha. Tasmad adishta shutadushanam param. Bhaktyo sate shambhajatatam labhaye. Ladies, die Damen.
Trauen sich nicht.
Die trauen sich nicht, okay. Zu gute Qualität. Evam. Similarly, as earthly wealth and possessions are impermanent, he, indeed, Loka, higher planetary systems, like heaven, the moon, the sun, and Brahmaloka. Katuvi, by performing great sacrifices, Krita, achieved, Ami, all those, Shayishnava, perishable, impermanent, Satishaya, although more comfortable and pleasing, Na, no, Nirmala, pure, free from disturbances, Tasmat, therefore, Adishtashuta, never seen or heard, Dushanam, whose fault, Param, the Supreme, Bhaktya, with great devotional love, Uktaya, as described in the Vedic literature, not mixed with jnana or karma. Isham, the Supreme Lord. Bhajata, worship. Atmalabhaye, for self-realization. Translation. It is learned from Vedic literature that by performing great sacrifices, one may elevate himself to the heavenly planets. However, although life on the heavenly planets is hundreds and thousands of times more comfortable than life on earth, the heavenly planets are not pure, nirmalam, or free from the taint of material existence. The heavenly planets are also temporary, and therefore they are not the goal of life. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, however, has never been seen or heard to possess inebriety. Consequently, for your own benefit and self-realization, you must worship the Lord with great devotion, as described in the revealed scriptures. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Kshine Punya Martya Lokam Vishanti. Even if one is promoted to the higher planetary systems by performing great sacrifices which are accompanied by the sinful act of sacrificing animals, the standard of happiness in Svargaloka is also not free of disturbances. There is a similar struggle for existence even for the king of heaven, Indra. Thus, there is no practical benefit in promoting oneself to the heavenly planets. Indeed, from the heavenly planets one must return to this earth after one has exhausted the results of his pious activities. In the Vedas it is said, Tat yatena karmo jito loka kshiyate evam evat mutra punya jito loka kshiyata. As the material position we require here by hard work are vanquished in due course of time, one's residence in the heavenly planets is also eventually vanquished. According to one's activities of piety in different degrees, one obtains different standards of life, but none of them are permanent, and therefore they are all impure. Consequently, one should not endeavor to be promoted to the higher planetary systems only to return to this earth or descend still lower to the hellish planets. To stop this cycle of going up and coming down, one must take to Krishna consciousness. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore said, Pramanda Brahmite Konna Bhagavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasad Pai Bhakti Lata Bija Chaitanya Chaitamrita Madhya 1951. The living entity is rotating in the cycle of birth and death, going sometimes to the higher planets and sometimes to the lower planets. But that is not the solution to the problems of life. But if by the grace of Krishna one is fortunate enough to meet a guru, a representative of Krishna, one gets the clue of returning home back to Godhead. Having achieved self-realization, this is what is actually desirable. Bhajatatma labhyade. One must take to Krishna consciousness for self-realization. Evam hiroka kratu vikrita ami kriyashvara satyishayana nirmalaha tasmadatishta shutadushanam param bhoktyodayesham bhajatatma labhaye. It is learned from Vedic literature that by performing great sacrifices one may be elevate himself to the heavenly planets. However, although life on the heavenly planets is hundreds and thousands of times more comfortable than life on earth, the heavenly planets are not pure, nirmalam, or free from the taint of material existence. The heavenly planets are also temporary, and therefore they are not the goal of life. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, however, has never been seen or heard to possess inebriety. Consequently, for your own benefit and self-realization, you must worship the Lord with great devotion, as described in the revealed scriptures. Om Maginati Mirandasya Vinandana Shalapitam Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manubhastam Stavitam Yena Bhutari Swayam Rupakadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. So again we hear the words of Prahlad Maharaj. And the title of the chapter actually is the instructions that Prahlad Maharaj received in the womb of his mother. Because his companion at school, they asked him, where do you get all this knowledge from? No. And he told them the story, how he received this knowledge from his spiritual master within the womb of his mother. Actually, the story goes that when Hiranyakashipu started to practice austerities to acquire eternal life, he was practicing severe austerities. It says that he was standing on the tip of his toe, with his hands elevated like this, without moving anymore. And it says in the Bhagavatam, it says that because he didn't move anymore, so the termites, what? Yeah. The termites starting eating his body, taking away the material, the gross elements of his body. And so they constructed a whole hive there on his body. Now, you see this in the tropical countries. You see these things all over the place, like the termites. And so his gross body wasn't there anymore, disappeared. And then because his austerity created so much disturbance, the demigods were asking, Krishna, please. Brahma, they actually spoke to Brahma. And so Brahma went to see Kshirodakashahi Vishnu. He has an island on the Milk Ocean. So they were instructed, and they were, told that yes, soon something would happen to take this disturbance out of place. And so, Brahma gave him. He wanted to be immortal, but Brahma revealed that actually, how can I give you immortality? I'm mortal myself. So Hiranyakashipu thought, this is a kind of, he's saying this, to avoid giving me something that I want. So he started formulating his desire in a different way. He said, give me the benediction. I cannot be killed outside nor inside. I cannot be killed by any human and an animal or whatever other species it might be. I might not be killed during the day nor during the night. And so he started formulating in different ways. And in the end he thought, now I became immortal, because Brahma gave him all these benedictions. So anyway, while he was out there practicing his tapasya, the demigods came to his palace. They took advantage that he wasn't there anymore. So they took advantage, came to his palace. And when they entered the palace, they saw Hiranyakashipu's wife was pregnant. And they thought, well, this child within this womb surely will also be a demon. And so they were ready to take her away, and wait until the baby was born to kill it. But then all of a sudden Narada Muni appeared in the middle of the demigods. And because the demigods, they highly respected Narada Muni. And so Narada Muni said, what are you doing with Hiranyakashipu's wife? And they told him, they revealed their intention. And so Narada Muni told him, wait a minute. This child is a great soul. I will take her with me to my ashram. And so he started instructing his mother. But it says in the Shastra that his mother sooner or later, actually because she was only thinking of her husband all the time. When is my husband coming back? And she didn't get that same importance to the words of Narada Muni. So then, after it says that after a while, after Prahlad was born, his mother forgot what she had heard from Narada Muni. And so Prahlad Maharaj manifested himself. At the very early age of 5 years, he was already completely Krishna conscious. And he started to influence his companions at school. Started preaching to them. Like we mentioned yesterday, reading all these instructions here of Narada Muni. And so then the children said, but Narada Muni, what are you telling us? We are children. We want to play. And Narada Muni told him, no, now it's the time to learn. Now is the time to study, to learn, important things. And he was so convincing that they became more and more devotees. And it's just, like I mentioned yesterday, it's really surprising. But this philosophy of Narayana Muni is actually so elevated, and he was teaching his companion this philosophy. Anyway, so now he's saying that he's mentioning that there's a certain class of people who desire to go to the heavenly planets. Heavenly planets. Of course, here in the Western world, this is not so elaborated. There's not so many details about demigods and all that. But in India, when you go to India, it's full of demigod worship. Just like when I go to Guyana or Suriname, the Caribbean, there's many Indians. And they have many temples there. There's many mosques and temples and Christian churches. They're actually very religious. And so the Hindus normally they have a ritual there that they go to the temple, Hindu temple, and they do all kinds of sacrifices for the demigods. Like they also include Hanuman and Shiva and Brahma and all that. And then they put flags with the pictures of these demigods. They put them in the garden, like that. That they have performed this ritual. With the idea actually to go to heaven. But that's not Vaikuntha, like Bhagavad mentioned here in the purport. This is not Vaikuntha. Even on the heavenly planets, all kinds of anxieties exist. Bhagavad said, even Indra, the king of heaven, so to say, has a lot of problems also. Like we hear from the Srimad Bhagavatam, sometimes demons fights with Indra, or sometimes also Indra becomes envious. Like so when Prithu made his appearance, he became very, very powerful, very influential. And Indra was looking at him, and observing him and thinking, wow, he will become more powerful than me, so I have to do something to disturb him. And even though they live such a long time, like Prabhupada says here, still they are also conditioned. They are also conditioned by birth, death, old age, and disease. Actually, I heard on the heavenly planets there's not so much disturbances like here. But in the end, they are also temporary. They also have to leave the body. And then it says here, Prabhupada's referring to the Bhagavad Gita. Quotes a part of the Bhagavad Gita, where it says, what was that? Yeah. Te tam bhuktava svarga lokam vishalam kshine punyamartya lokam vishanti evam trayi dharmam anupappana katagatam kama kama labhante. When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure, and the result of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death. Yes. Even though you might go to the heavenly planets, like it says in Bhagavad Gita, you have to return. Just like I mentioned the other day, also here, there's countries who are better situated economically and all that. Other countries are poor countries. And anyway, we should understand that this is due to our karma, that we're born in different places. Even though we might be very nicely situated in some place with a lot of economic development and sanskritification, and respected also by the rest of the world, this is just a result of karma, pious karma, that you take birth like that. And it's just a question of time. If you actually, to have good karma is a good opportunity to progress further. Yeah? Just like when you born in a rich family, you don't have any economic problems. But instead of just using it for your sense gratification, there's a possibility. If you take advantage of this situation, being economically without any problem, peaceful like that, you should advance further. I remember the story of Buddha. Buddha. Actually, he's known as Shakti Avesha Avatar. He is an empowered living entity with a special mission, divine mission. Anyway, so it says that when he was born, he was the son of a king. And the king had, by astrological calculation, he had found out that his son would leave the palace in search of a deeper meaning in life, something like that. Anyway, so they made all arrangements that he would never see any people suffering. No birth, death, old age, and disease. He was only surrounded by beautiful people and nice and very friendly, everything. He had everything he wanted, like that. And one time they take him on a palanquin. He was a prince, he took him on a palanquin. And they had prepared the street so he wouldn't see any weird things or any people suffering like that. But they went to the wrong street. And for the first time in his life, he saw a little baby crying. What is this? They told him this is part of life. Anyways, and he saw the procession. They had a corpse, like a dead person on the like in India they do when somebody dies. They clean the body very nicely. They dress him with nice clothes, put him tilak on. Then they take him on a palanquin so people can say goodbye to him. And then they also take him to the temple, for darshan, so to say. He never saw a dead body. What is this? What happened to this person? He's dead. Dead? What is death? And then he also saw something very sick. When we started going to India, sometimes we were very surprised. To see all these things in public. Somebody really sick in public, sitting on the street. In the Western countries, they always try to hide these kind of explosions. Also, when somebody dies, they immediately cover them with a cloth so nobody can see. Like that. Anyway, so he saw that, and then he was shocked to see that, and then he saw an old person who had a lot of trouble with his old age, like this kind. So he was shocked. What happened to that person? And they informed him, yes, sooner or later you will also become old. And as soon as when he saw all these different sufferings, he renounced in search of a deeper meaning in life. He renounced. Anyway, so this is the material world. And the material world, like Prabhupada mentions here, it doesn't matter where you go. You go to heavenly planets, go to the intermediate planets, or the hellish planets. The conditions, maybe not so tense down there in the hellish planets, but the problems are the same. And the main problem of the conditioned soul is that he has to give up the body. And he's forced to take up another body. And this way we're continuing. Birth after birth. Now you're sitting here in the temple and all this. It's very nice. But if you don't care properly, don't take care properly, then you might lose this opportunity. Like I mentioned yesterday, this is all voluntary. Somebody decides, no, I don't want to be devotee, and goes out and goes to the supermarket and buys something, kind of trying to forget Krishna. Actually, we have this freedom to decide. Prabhupada mentioned actually our freedom only consists in surrender to Krishna or how you say, rebel against Krishna. This is actually the essence of our free will. And either you surrender to Krishna or you give up Krishna, give your devotional service. And everything from there develops. Just like we come here into this material universe, we come here to have been born under certain circumstances, so birth, death, old age, and disease. We are all subjected to these kleshas, to these sufferings, so the real meaning, or the opportunity that we see from the human form of life is that we can atato brahmajigyasa. We can start asking questions. Asking questions. Not how to get money, how to get a nice wife or husband, or get some, who knows what. Get a nice dog. That's also very popular nowadays. Actually, atato brahmajigyasa. We should hear about Brahman, about what is spiritual, about God. And this opportunity, and as we know in Kali Yuga, is very, very rare. Very, very rare. Prabhupada mentioned here in the end, he said, Brahma Bhuta Prasanat Manasutatina Samasadeshu Bhuteshu Matpapinda Pate Param. Anyway, so it says that after many, many births, passing so many life, a fortunate soul has association with devotees, or means a spiritual master. And in this way, receives the seed of devotional service, the seed, Bhakti Lata Bij. We all receive the seed. By hearing, we have received the seed. It says in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, when you receive this seed, this opportunity, you should put it, take it in the depths of your heart. And just like you have a seed or you have a little a plant, you have to take care of it by giving it water. And our process of giving water to this devotional seed is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So today we're going out in Harinam, and it's this is the only process in this age of Kali, to actually wake up spiritually. There's a verse, I don't remember the verse in Sanskrit, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It says that in everyone's heart, there's actually this, this love for Krishna is there, but it's not awake. How you say? No, it's not awake. Yeah, it's not something that we obtain from somewhere else. It's already there. Just like many years back, they were always saying that we were brainwashed, that we were influenced, like as devotees. But because we had been given something artificial, Krishna consciousness. But actually Krishna consciousness is not something artificial, it's present in everyone's heart. Even within the heart of the insects or snakes or animals, plants like that. And when we expose them to the chanting of the holy name, this transcendental sound vibration, they all benefit. They all benefit. Because this transcendental sound vibration penetrates all the coverings and gets directly to the heart. And starts purifying the heart. Just like our neighbors here. Every day they hear Samsara Dava Nalalira Loka. I notice when you go out the building here in the morning when we chant Samsara, and it's very, very quiet everywhere. Everyone is sleeping. It's amazing how far here you can hear this chanting. At least a block or 2 blocks you can still hear. And all these people who are our neighbors here, living close to the temple, they all benefited by the sound vibration. It's very, very important. They are, even though they might not understand or they might be critical with the devotees, still they benefited. What to say to go to the shopping streets in Köln and expose people to this transcendental sound vibration. This is the most beneficial work. The most beneficial work somebody can do to help others to reawaken the Krishna consciousness within the heart. Because this is actually the root problem that we all have as conditioned souls, that we have forgotten Krishna. And to revive this dormant Krishna consciousness in the heart is a real solution to all our problems. Ananya chintayantavam yejana payupasade tesham yukta vayuktanam yoga kshema vahamyam. The next verse here, it comes now. First Krishna says, then they go to the heavenly planets and they come back. But then Krishna says, but if somebody is fixed in Krishna consciousness, completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness, Krishna says, I carry him what he lacks and I protect everything he has. This is actually our relationship with Krishna. He is taking care of all the necessities of all the conditioned souls, even in the material world. Even those people who are atheists, they also maintained by Krishna. Just imagine how incredible Krishna is. Just like Prabhupada said, he's like the father. Sometimes the son might leave the family, become a revolution, might rebel against the authorities at home, mother and father, and leave. And he actually might tend to forget his parents. But Prabhupada said the father never forgets the son. And he is always trying to bring him back. And if... so we all traveling within the material world. We all changing bodies. We take birth in different places. Actually, when you go out sometimes at night, and there's no clouds, and you see all the stars, it's amazing. There's uncountable planets, uncountable planets. And the scientists, they say, just this planet has life. All the other planets, no. But actually, Srimad Bhagavatam says that all these planets are inhabited by living entities. You might see them, you might not see them directly with your limited senses, be able to perceive them like that. But there's actually, Prabhupada says, there's no place where there's no spirit souls. Everywhere, there's life. All living entities everywhere. That doesn't mean that we are one, that we merge at a certain point. No. We maintain our eternal identity eternally. And there's life everywhere. There's entities who have bodies like us, mainly of water and earth. There's other living entities who have bodies of fire. There are living entities who have bodies of air. There are living entities who have bodies of space only. So how will you be able to see them? It's actually full of living entities. Simply the ghost world here. There are incredible, many ghosts here everywhere. Living beings, former men who have acted so sinfully that they're not allowed to take a new gross body. They are condemned to maintain themselves in the ghostly existence. It says in the Bhagavatam, it says that, and these living entities depend on the mercy of Shiva. When he allows them again to take a birth, they can have. Anyway, so this is our existence, and here we hear Prahlad Maharaj speaking to his companions at school, the sons of demons. And by his association, they all became devotees. And that's what also happened when Srila Prabhupada came to the West. He went directly to America. America, the center of Kali Yuga, especially New York. He went there. And surprisingly, he was able to transform Americans into devotees. In America, the tendency is that everyone wants to be number one. Just like the president also again now. Everyone wants to be number one. This is what they learn. Yeah? This is their consciousness. Yeah? And Prabhupada came and he made them humble, respectful, yeah? By his simple presence. They experienced a change in heart. This was actually the miracle that Prabhupada made. Yeah? Yeah. There was a conversation once with Srila Prabhupada. There were, when Prabhupada traveled in India, he was accompanied by his disciples. And they would take very nice care of him. Also that not so many people would come and touch his feet like that. And so they had found in the train, they got an apartment for Prabhupada in the train. When you travel in India, there's many classes. No? If you don't know and you get a ticket in the lower class, no? There might be that somebody sits on your, how you say, no? Shows, what is that? Yeah? Sits on you because there's no place. They sit on you. No? Or somebody comes in with a big basket full of fish, and carries on. Any minute they might fall over like that. Yeah? So they got a nice apartment for Srila Prabhupada in the train, and they guided him to the train, like that. And another thing is also once Prabhupada was in public, and people would come and try to touch his feet, and they also try to touch the feet of Harikesh, at that time Swami, and Harikesh went, oh, no. And Prabhupada said, be merciful. No, anyway, so Prabhupada was led into the train. And before they closed the door of the compartment, there were two gentlemen standing out there, trying to make eye contact with Srila Prabhupada. And then finally, Prabhupada called them in. And so very respectful, they sat in front of Prabhupada. And Prabhupada knew, these people would just ask for benedictions for some business or whatever it was. Yeah. Anyway, so Prabhupada asked them, like he was normally very kind with people. He started the conversation very kind before he said things as they were really. And who are you, and where you live, and you have sons, and like that. And then Prabhupada said, so what can I do for you? And so they started, I need a benediction for my business, I need another benediction, who knows what. And Prabhupada said, look, my benedictions are like this. And he pointed to his disciples sitting on the floor, shaved with dhoti. Are you ready for that benediction? And so they said, no. And they disappeared. They disappeared. Yeah, anyway, so this is what Prabhupada actually did. Prabhupada actually was able to transform, to produce this change in heart in his followers. Yeah. And it's amazing. Sometimes when you see a video of Srila Prabhupada, it's like it becomes more and more, interesting. In the beginning, we didn't pay so much attention to certain things. But after years and years, when you see videos about, we hear classes of Prabhupada, there's so much more than we heard, what we saw or heard in the beginning. Yeah. I remember there's a video, you can still see it, a black and white video of Prabhupada, and there's no sound. He's just sitting there with his japamala in his hand, sitting there looking like this, and chanting at the same time. And you can just sit there and stare at him, like kind of, wow, even though nothing apparently happening, just by his presence, just by his presence. Yeah. And another thing I wanted to also add is, in India, people still have pretty much culture, tradition. And so, when they see, for example, Westerners, for example, they're surprised how little culture they have, how they act, how they speak, how they kind of dress, even on all this, And then like I was in Tirupati once. We were a group of devotees seeing the temple in Tirupati. And also tourists came. There came a bus of tourists from the west, maybe from England or Germany, something like that. And no, they were so out of place, with everything they did, the way they acted there, just taking photos, not ask any questions or interested in the deeper meaning on all this. And so Prabhupada was able to actually produce this change in heart of his followers. And this was, like Prabhupada said, this was actually his real miracle. This was a real miracle. I remember there was another conversation with a journalist. And so he came to see Prabhupada and said, I heard that you see God? And Prabhupada said, yes. Can you see me, God? Show me God? Yes. Can you show me God now? And he said, yes, but first you have to become one of them. And he pointed to his disciples. And then the reporter tried to get away from this, and he started asking other questions, which had nothing to do with it. And Prabhupada didn't want to talk to him anymore. You're not serious. He had come so close to hear Srila Prabhupada. Anyway, I don't want to go over time here. Any questions? Or comments? Yes?
Is Lord Shiva mortal like Brahma or not?
No, Shiva is actually Krishna, but it's a very specific form. Prabhupada said it's like the milk. When the milk turns yogurt, it doesn't have the same functions. But it's still coming from milk. And Shiva also has sometimes Prabhupada said also Shiva commits mistakes also. And he's the demigod where all normally his followers are in mode of ignorance, complete ignorance. Like it says that he's always surrounded by ghosts and hobgoblins and weird kind of. That's why it's very difficult to understand who he is, who he really is. But he's also described in the Shastras as the best Vaishnava. Did I answer your question? Yeah?
There are many forms of Shiva.
Yeah.
Different forms.
I spoke to one person the other day, who was coming from India, and I asked him, so are your parents also religious? And they said, yes, they're Shivites. They worship Shiva. They do puja to Shiva at home. And they must be very surprised when they hear that actually their son has gone to a temple of Krishna. Huh?
They do puja of Krishna also.
Huh?
They do puja for Krishna also.
Yeah, but for them it's all one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very common in India. They think, oh, it's all one. I was just in India a couple of weeks ago, and I was doing some treatment, Ayurvedic treatment. And there were some people waiting with me there for the attention of the doctor. And one guy all of a sudden said, you're Hare Krishna, you're worshipping Krishna. Why you worship Krishna? Krishna is just one of the many. Why you concentrate so much on Krishna? Yeah. And I asked him, what are you doing? What is your... And I said, oh, Shiva. I'm Shiva. There's many more devotees of Shiva than Krishna. It's very common. Yeah, it's all one. Yeah. Like many times when we contact Indians, or also go to their offices or something like that, then also on the taxis and all the cars also, they always have they have a murti there. They have a deity. It's either Sai Baba or it's Shiva or it's Durga. And very rarely you find somebody who has actually Radha Krishna there. Yeah. Anyway, so this is also the confusion, effect of Kali Yuga. There's no proper guidance anymore. It's inconceivable now how we actually received Krishna consciousness, in the condition that we were in. Sometimes, like gentlemen like you come to the temple and are surprised how serious these devotees are taking these teachings. What? You're not eating meat? What? You're not smoking biddies? What? No, it's surprising, no? For Indians, when they come to the West and they see devotees here, how serious they're actually practicing the Vedic culture, isn't it?
Most of the people are vegetarian only.
Sorry?
Most of the people are vegetarian only in India.
Yeah, but it's becoming degraded more and more. Yeah. Especially when you go to the cities. On the countryside, still there's a lot of tradition, a lot of culture. But as soon as you go to the cities, if you don't see the how you say the signs and the letters and all that, these cities look just like in America or just like in Europe, like that. Yeah? Wenn du nicht die Namen, die Schilder siehst oder die Buchstaben, die Schrift siehst und so. Yeah. But as soon as you go into the countryside in India, be respectful also. Swamiji, and they invite you home to sanctify their home, wash your feet, like that. It's very common. Yeah, that's culture. But in Vedic culture, the center of culture were the acharyas, the Vaishnava acharyas, Ramanuja, Nimbarka, like that. Even though they were renunciates, they had nothing practical, they were sannyasis, they were highly respected by the kings and by the administration. Actually now you have a president, Modi, and he's very, very appreciative, very respectful with ISKCON. Yes, very. I saw a picture that he received Putin in India. And there's a picture where he gives Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita to Putin. Yeah, part of the marathon. It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. Did you see this photo? Yeah.
Marathon Prabhupada.
Yeah. Yes, so this is Prabhupada's mission. Yeah.
I met yesterday witness.
Oh, sorry, I want, anyway, I want to say something else. Just like when Prabhupada went to the West, the conception they have in India of sannyasis is sannyasis should not cross oceans. Cross oceans. They only go by land like that. Anyway, so this was something they had, they thought this was weird. Then when Prabhupada came to the West, and he started initiating Americans and Europeans to his tradition, his Vaishnava cult. This is impossible. They had meat, they went intoxication, all this. And then Prabhupada gave sannyas to his disciples also. Ooh. Yeah. But Prabhupada didn't consider all these material conditions so much. He understood, like he said here in the purport, actually we are not the body, and we are spirit souls. And the process of reawakening our relationship with Krishna, our love for Krishna in the heart, is transcendental, has nothing to do with any material designations. Like they have the Ukrainian devotees, the Russian devotees. We have a Dutch devotee here. We have a Persian devotee from Iran. It's also devotee. They all over the world. These souls, these fortunate souls, are reawakened to the transcendental platform. Yeah. And that's why they're so surprised in India. Whenever the Indian president travels nowadays to other countries, he always gets in contact with devotees, with ISKCON. Like he came, some months ago he came to Argentina. And we have a very nice lady cook there. She has a nice restaurant, she's famous all over. She also appears on television and all that with her cooking. And the ambassador has a very nice relationship with devotees. He invites the devotees to his home to chant bhajans and chant Krishna. He has a whole set of Bhagavatams at his home. And his wife sometimes helps in the kitchen when they cook for the Sunday feast. Yeah? Anyway, so whenever somebody important is coming from India to Buenos Aires, to the embassy, the ambassador takes them to the restaurant of the devotee, of the lady. Yeah? Anyway, so and last time he came to Buenos Aires, they had a change of ambassadors. They change the ambassador regularly. So the new ambassador was not very familiarized with the relationship of the former ambassador with ISKCON. So when the devotees heard that the president is coming, they offered to cook for him. And the new ambassador didn't want that. He wanted an Indian lady to cook for him. But the president is used to very appreciative of the prasad in ISKCON. Anyway, so that she cooked for him. And then we heard that actually he took a little and he didn't like it. If she would have cooked, our devotee would have cooked, he would have cooked with very much delight. Yeah. And I notice everywhere where the president is appearing now, there's always devotees appearing. And he salutes them, Hare Krishna. Yeah. And I saw a picture of Harinam with the president in India. There's a picture, devotees with kartas, mridangas on the street. And in the center there's a president with his huge kartas. So follow him. Whatever a great man does, common man will follow. Yeah, this is very important. He was also there in Mumbai. He was there for the ceremony that Gopal Krishna Maharaj had printed a huge Bhagavad Gita, like until the ceiling, more or less. Yeah. And they installed it there in the temple, and then they invited the president to take part of the ceremony, and he was moving the pages kind of in front of television and everything. Anyway, so you're welcome, Hare Krishna. So any more questions or comments? Thank you very much, Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki